Hey, this is Motell, Granite, I'd like to welcome you guys to another episode of my Hiccup conversation. This particular one is called the Alpharetta Ambush. So it's kind of fun, it's exciting, it's something that has a lot of lessons in it for people, I believe. Check it out, and hopefully you can make it all the way through, and it has some entertainment. I'm using Goggles, my character, to display another form of life that's going on with people who have to deal with the struggles of what they're going through and whatnot. But without any further ado, I'm playing Goggles. This is Motel Granite the Great. I'm playing Goggles, and I am doing a Hiccup conversation episode, and this one is called the Alpharetta Ambush. Enjoy it. Hey, this is Goggles, and I'm not even mad. Um, I understand a little bit more about what I feel God is doing. These are tests. Whether it's the Dallas debacle, the Columbus caper, or the Alpharetta ambush. There's two forms. There's good and there's evil. Most of the time, you're staring at the one that you are. Well, what do you mean by that? If you see evil in other people, then that's a reflection. You get it? There's a lot of people that think they're good and they're evil. We may not go to heaven. And me as a human, I don't even believe we're good enough for it anyway. Some people don't have a problem at all with stomping on your feelings. If you down and out, they don't have any problems with either steamrolling you or stepping over you. It's like an ambush. And everybody wants everybody to be nice and kind and polite to them, but they don't want to give it back. But everybody think they're good. So I had to stop and think about it for myself, man. I'm like, all these other people are delusional and thinking they good, so I must be the same way. So instead of saying Goggles, I'm mad as hell, I'm gonna see if I can change the narrative. Why am I mad as hell? I watched a movie with an enemy, and inside of the movie, it was a line that the kidnapper said. And that line that the kidnapper said inside of the movie was, why can't I get my way? And the stranger who I was around told me, that sounds like you. Now I'm looking at the symbolism like, man, this guy's a kidnapper. This guy's a low down, dirty. But I reminded my enemy of the kidnapper. So you don't know what people think about you. You don't know how they feel. But the one thing I've learned is women will not give you money. And women do not care about how you feel, and they're not interested in doing anything that crosses over any line of the way they feel at that moment. In history, I'm going to tell you this now, from a historical standpoint, whatever somebody has been through in their past is going to torment them for the rest of their life. That's never going to change. They're always going to be. So you got people who praying and wishing for a marriage. They want to be married. They want to have great kids and all of this stuff, and it's not going to happen. So you have people who use you to slick like a slither into a situation. I've done this, slither into a situation with an objective, only to try to run back out after I got what I want. But life has an interesting way of plucking you out of your evil. I just watched a video on Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker, one of the greatest boxers ever. And in the story that I was watching, Sweet Pea was one of the greatest defensive fighters ever, and slipping and moving. You know, he stay out the way people throw it. He would slip it and bang. A southpaw like myself, crank a left hand down the pipe. But he was fascinating as a defensive fighter. But karma, which is something that it feels like God operates under clearly. Gloating, which is a no-no, and karma is sometimes the consequences for this gloating. But Sweet Pea, who was a defensive fighter, slips and dodges everybody and beat people in the ring. And 55 years old, walks out of Norfolk, Virginia somewhere, or down to Virginia where he's from, and gets hit by a bus or a truck and killed on the spot. 2019. So here's what I mean about karma. I don't know how, if he gloated a lot, but he had a showboat's ability inside of the ring. So that gloating possibly, and him being able to slip and slide everything inside of the ring, be fascinating. He turns 55 and he gets hit by a truck. Karma. So you was able to slip and slide. Now you can't move. This has been a challenging week for me. Struggles with the vehicle, clumping 13 minutes up and down hills, trying to make it to a destination to get the vehicle looked at. It's only God and me at this point, and I'm realizing that's the way it's always been. I've been rebellious with my ridiculousness, my gloating. And so my gloating, here's my consequences. I blurt out, I'm Motell, Granite, great. I've used that when I'm working hard somewhere. I'll just say that as a title. I'm Motell, Granite, great. And it gives me extra strength when I'm supposed to be acknowledging God. I'm trying to steal God's shine. There's rappers nowadays, young guys, that are gloating and talking about their jewelry, monies, and then they get ran down, shot up, killed. Gloating, karma. Do unto others as you will have them do unto you. That's biblical scripture. Honor thy neighbor as you honor thyself. The Alpharetta ambush is me getting what I deserve. Snakes slither, and I have been one of them who has wiggled using charisma, like Anthony Sowell, the maniac in Ohio from years ago. You have to look that up for yourself if you're not familiar with it. But every state has its own psychopaths. But an ambush is, in the Alpharetta ambush is me gloating, using charisma, a high level of charisma, because I probably have more charisma um, than everybody on earth. Using a high charisma, trying to protect my heart because I'm passionate. This zodiac sign they say is a Cancer, emotional, all of this type of shit. And then the Chinese or whatever, I was just shown that I'm a rat, and a rat born the year that I was born is this emotional being. So you got your zodiac stuff that the world uses, and then there's the spiritual realm where God is involved, and this is where you pay for it, your karma. The devil doesn't have any ability to do anything but to distract. So God is going to execute all of the plans, but if one is not obedient and paying attention over here, and you're gloating, and you're being arrogant, boastful, braggart, showboating, making fun of poor people because of what you have, you're going to get your ass reamed over here. You're going to get your ass torn a new one. And you cannot gloat, be arrogant, sneaky, cheating, deceptive, wicked. You cannot be these things without paying for it. I ask again out loud, God, please forgive me of all of my sins, and I must do a better job of life before it ends. You gotta learn how to deal with whatever you're going through. I personally take everything into accountability. Nobody's done anything to me. It's me. Even if I was back in the day, I still feel like with the mindset that I have now, it's not anybody else's fault what I'm going through. So I'm going to get back to, even though this is the Alpharetta Ambush, I'm going to get back to my creativity. I'm going to get back to my novel, the God Stalker series, An Empty Enemy. I'm going to get back to my YouTube videos. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to get back to this world, being more positive, staying away from evil as much as I can, identifying it inside of me, trying not to be distracted because of my gloating, because of my desires or whatever it is that I want. I got to be a better person, get back to coaching. I see what happened with a coach just recently who was trapped in a situation where he was fornicating with someone, even though he has a very successful and labeled as an attractive and beautiful woman who he's not married to because she doesn't want to get married. But nonetheless, everything was flushed down the toilet, took his team to the championship and all of these things. Gloating, karma. So you want to cheat and you want to have fornication with somebody else over here, right? Well, guess what? Now you lose your job, you lose your family. Y'all understanding the correlation now? Gloating, karma. I'm teaching. Stop gloating. Stop talking about people. Stop treating people bad. Don't look for anybody else to help you with your problem. Let me tell you something about me again this week. This is my last piece. This week has been a week where I've had to beg. I've had to, as the normal giver, I've had to ask for help and assistance this week, constantly. I'd almost rather try and drink all of the water in Lake Erie or in the Pacific Ocean instead of begging. So for some of you people, I have no idea how you can beg all the time. It feels like sticker bushes and thorns being poked in every vein or artery inside of my body, begging. Can you help me? Can I please borrow? Can you please do this for me? And I saw a lady, a young lady who definitely is healthy enough to work, standing on the side of the road in Duluth, Georgia. And she has a little baby with her, maybe a 3 or 4 year old girl, who you're teaching these begging like behaviors. I don't care what you went through in your life. It is what it is. There's that gloating, and now you're going through karma. So you know what you did to get into the situation that you're in. But she stepped out in front of my vehicle, went in front of mine, because I'm not giving you anything. Went in front of me and somebody gave her some money. She don't even believe in God, but she takes the money, does some kind of a formation of a prayer. You know how y'all do. She kissed the money and put it to the sky. Now, where was that belief in God when you was fornicating? Where is that belief in God when you can go to work? Gloating, karma. This is the hiccup conversation. And I'm talking about the Alpharetta ambush. And the Alpharetta ambush is my karma. I've done some things and I'm paying for it. But like I said again, you can get on the right track. Adverse was a genius, said a line to me, and I remember it, and I keep on repeating it. He said, if you can eat yourself into, I gotta start off here because this is sad, bad health, then you can eat yourself into good health. Social media is wicked. Get off of here. I suggest you get off. And do not come back anymore, because social media is a wicked place. And it has a lot of negative connotations to it. That's fire. But I'm going to get back to designing my digital playbook. I must get back into coaching. I cannot stay outside of the coaching realm any longer. Just like a fish outside of the water. I'm flopping on land, dealing with snakes, and exhibiting and executing snake-like behavior myself. But the devil and evil is just a distraction. That's all it is. It really is not real. It's a distraction. That's all it is. It's not anything more than that. It's just a distraction. So stop being distracted. Well, how can you do it? By keeping your mind focused on something good. Don't gloat, which means don't be braggadocious on a daily basis. Cut down on the people you deal with, too. Cut down on the people that you're dealing with. So this is the hiccup conversation. And this is just an episode that I wanted to do. I'm labeling this one as the Alpharetta ambush. I want you guys to know one thing for sure. You are loved. You just don't feel it. See y'all. Hey, this is Motell Granite the Great. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the Alpharetta ambush. I know it was kind of long. It kind of got that emotional drama feel to it. But I'm literally inside of these characters. I can see things inside of my brain while I'm executing this goggles concept, which is fun for me. It's just fun. But you need to focus, keep yourself focused on what you got to do and try not to be distracted. So it's not very easy to do, but once you can concentrate long enough, you should be able to have a better life for yourself, and you move on from there. But once again, this is Motell Granite the Great. I'd like to welcome everybody to Cold Crown. Thank you for this particular episode of Hiccup Conversation. If you made it this far and you're watching it, so this is Goggles, Motell Granite the Great. Thank you very much. I love y'all.